Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the Industry Relations Committee coming back to you for episode 2 of Antarang 2.0. And today we have a very interesting guest with us, Professor Vivekanand R. So, Professor is a seasoned professional and who began his career in sales and marketing in an hospitality industry for over 10 years and then transitioned for analytics with over 12 years of experience working there. After that, he is now a consultant and academic trainer, helping students and professionals turn data into academic and professional insights. In an MBA in marketing from Monash University, Melbourne, he brings strong leadership and communication skills and making him a valuable guide for B school students in an AI-driven business world. Welcoming sir to our podcast.
Thanks.
Hello, sir. So this is a very interesting opportunity for our students here talking to you, and we are very happy to have you here on our podcast.
Likewise, guys.
Thank you so much for coming, sir. So, sir, our first question is that you started as a marketing professional,
Right.
and then you transitioned into analytics.
Right.
So, what sort of thinking or what sort of benchmark led to that decision that you came for this after so much experience?
In fact, it goes even a bit more before that, right? I'm going to take you guys through a little bit of a timeline. So my original plan, I keep telling this to everyone, my first plan after my school actually was to become a chef. So that's how it started, and I actually got myself enrolled into a hotel management school in Manipal. So that was actually how the whole thing got started. And in fact, it goes even further, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. So one thing led to the other. I finished my course, and I actually got myself my first job was as a management trainee at the Taj Hotels. So I cracked that. One thing I could really do well was crack interviews, right? Whether I was good for it or not, I could just crack interviews. I think I could just camouflage all my shortcomings, and I could just sell ice to Eskimos. That's probably how I saw things back in the day. So that took off, at least interviews perspective. We had interviews in Goa. It was a lot of fun. So to me, that was incentive just to crack it. I could go to Goa and get a free holiday out of it. Anyways, things happened. Got posted in Mumbai, and I came back to Chennai, which is actually home for me. Got my posting at the Taj Coromandel. Started my job as a lobby manager at the Taj Coromandel in Chennai, which is primarily operations, but in hospitality. Hated my job. Could not figured I was a clear misfit for it. I could not handle the shifts, and I just realized that I lacked hospitality. I just realized that I was soon to discover that I didn't have that in me. For me, I didn't have it in me to fuss over people. I didn't have it in me to feel bad for things which didn't matter, small things. If somebody missed a wake-up call, it wouldn't bother me, because I was like, hey, you know what? No one's dead yet, right? It's just a small thing. So, but which is basically a fundamental misfit for the hospitality business, right? I didn't feel the need to apologize for little things because I thought it was not that. That's how I'm wired. So anyways, I quit my job as fast as I could, and I got through another management training program at ITC Hotels. I used my networks, and I knew somebody there. And my hotel management school was also, by the way, run by ITC. So that made it easy for me. I had my networks, went to WMI as a management trainee in sales and marketing, and that's where my role really started officially in sales and marketing. This time things were a little different. I think I had initial issues settling down. A couple of months I was finding my space, trying to make peace with it. But over a point, I figured it seemed like fun, enjoyed it. It started more with sales, but eventually became marketing. And I think I got posted in multiple locations. Was posted in ITC Warrior in Delhi, and then came back to Chennai again. We had 2 hotels back in the day, and then I had a short post in Bangalore at ITC Windsor, and I was then nominated to go to the marketing office in Singapore, a Starwood, the global sales office in Singapore, which was where marketing officially started. Reached a point, at some point I figured, hey, I think I got whatever I had to learn out of it. It no longer seemed challenging, no longer seemed fun, and I just knew somewhere in my heart that I was not meant for this industry. So quit my job. That's when I got myself into a full-time MBA program.
In Monash.
In Monash. Looked at a couple of things. Things got started, and I guess one thing led to the other, and that was another path altogether. But my career in marketing continued for some more time, even after that. While I was in Melbourne, again, I used my networks, and I still continued working in the global sales office in Melbourne. I still remember her name was Josie Arma. She was the head of the GSO. She and I were good friends. We knew back in the day we go back in the day because from my Singapore stint, I had my networks. So I did some work for them. I kept in touch with the industry and yeah, finished my course. And well, then things changed, took a turn all of a sudden. I've explored new passions in life, and that's where I figured that was a time for me to end my marketing career and my next phase of analytics took place with that onwards.
All right, sir. So after hearing all this, I have a very interesting question. Like, is there anything from all your experience in marketing and sales that you would say that now changes or influences your leadership style or management decisions in this long journey?
I think probably, I guess, if I think about takeaways, clearly people skills have gotten better and gotten polished. I think interacting with people is something which I was always I was always more extroversion. So I never had a problem talking to a stranger, but I think I was able to do it with more finesse only because I think of the industry and you had to obviously have a certain, you had to carry yourself in a certain standard. You had to dress the part. You had to obviously go ahead and we were used to having all kinds of high profile dinners. So for me, all that was a constant part of my job, and we're always having we would have dinners with diplomatic bodies. The Queen's birthday, for example, was a common thing. Like every time, every concert on that national day would invite us. All that really, I think at some point in time, I think did have an impact. Like to say that I think now I don't really do that anymore. I never enjoyed it, but I think somewhere down the line kind of helped me on people skills. In fact, not just that, we had to work with across multiple levels of people, right? Here I'm talking about, let's say, like diplomats and stuff like that, but business folks people who work in C-suites, people who work, let's say, as VPs, people who work in various managerial positions, all kinds, like multiple nationalities. So I think that's all that. I think all that somewhere kind of got me open to dealing with people, and that was probably what I think was my takeaway.
Yes, sir. So this is very interesting, especially the part where you hosted the monarchy of England. So this is a perfect segue to my next question. My next question is, what led you to from this client-facing role, more of a client-facing role and personalized, to a data-driven role, like in analytics?
So basically, this was a complete 180-degree shift from what I did. Basically, I was completely on a front-end role to a complete back-end role. I really got tired of it. I got so tired of it. I couldn't handle. I mean, all that. At some point, all the fancy stuff and the jazz stuff. To me, all that wore off very, very quickly. I didn't. It was not me. I mean, heart of hearts. I mean, I think I was pretty good at it, but I don't think I really enjoyed it at some point. And I think there was a point where I honestly had to call it quits. Luckily for me, I think that's where the MBA really took place. And for me, I had a professor. Her name is Jerry Roberts. She was my business analytics professor. I'm talking 2007, like quite a while ago. And back in the day, analytics was not even as big as things are. It is right now. It wasn't structured. There was no organized, structured training programs like we have today. But I think Jerry is a very forward thinker, and she's one of the smartest people I've ever known. And I think with her, I remember in one of the classes, my first initial classes, I was in fact one of her poorest students, to be very honest. Right? It's funny when I think about it, and now she and I laugh over it. And she actually failed me in one of her assessments. Okay, first assessment. And I was shocked. I was like, "Hey Jerry, what did I go wrong?" She's like, "You know what?" I said, "I did everything by the book." She's like, "You think you did by the book?" And she looks at what I did, and she's like, "You know what?" She started showing me where I went wrong, and she taught me one thing. She said, "Hey, listen, you are." She said, "Data is very, very straightforward, right? All you have to do is find a way to read what is being told in the data, and you need to be able to explain them as insights to your audiences and users, right? You're not here to learn tools. You're not a techie guy. You are here just to learn what is coming out of the data and say things as it is, right?" And she said, and with that, you can take actionable insights. And these things I think really was well resonated into me. I found that very powerful. And I thought, hey, if I need to really do something, it seems so straightforward. It seems so easy. If I could get a few techniques right, I think that's pretty much how I saw analytics taking me in a path. And to me, that was appealing. I said, hey, you know what? enough of all the fancy flair stuff that I had. I think it's time that I get real with life. I do what I really enjoy doing, and I saw myself getting into it long term, and that was where I had a complete shift in my career.
Oh, that's good to hear, sir. So, if I talk about your more of a background in sales and marketing, did that influence your approach to data analytics and also data visualization? Like how you talk about that you interpreted data in a way that could lead to different types of interpretations and get real with life, as you say.
Right,
So,
right.
does that lead to a common point anywhere?
See, I'll tell you I'll tell you how this even happened. I think for me, by the way, my job with hospitality extended a little bit more after my Melbourne days, and that's probably where I felt I was able to really tie up analytics and where marketing, and the whole thing fell in place together for me. I came back to India after my course. I stayed in Melbourne for a short stint. Post that, honestly, living there didn't. It did not influence me or charm me or something. So I said, hey, let me come back to India. And when I came back to India, I think initially for me, getting a job into analytics was looking very, very difficult. In India, I was seen as a fresher. Things didn't work out very well for me. So I had to get back into a job. Two things were going to happen. Either my parents were going to kill me or I was going to kill my parents, right? One of the two, because we were driving each other crazy, right? We said, let's do something. So they were like, do something, get out, do something. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. About a month, I was going crazy and I said, hey, let me pull my old networks all back in hotels. And that's when I went back into ITC hotels for about a couple of years again. And that's only because I had networks. I left on a good note. And they hired me in particular to take over a much, much larger role, which I couldn't even imagine. The ITC Grand Chola, which is one of the largest hotels in Chennai, in India, in fact, a 600-room property, a hotel of that scale did not exist in India. In Chennai, that too. I mean, I would understand Bombay and Delhi, but Chennai having a hotel of that scale was completely unheard of. Now, I had a very, very large team into me, and guess what? I think that was a time where data was starting to come up. I had just picked up a few things from my MBA days. I had a few fundas, and for me, combining I knew the domain. I had data. I was able to interpret data, and Jerry's thoughts in my head were, very sound. I said, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time I start interpreting data. So I was generating reports and graphs and dashboards and whatnot, and I was starting to slice and dice the data as much as I could. It was easy for me because I knew the domain, I knew the techniques. I was able to really fit the two of them together. And the moment I started doing that, I figured, hey, this could be extended pretty much anywhere. And it kind of gave me confidence to say, if I can do it in this data set, which is about numbers and text and dates, I can pretty much give me any data set. I'll be able to, I'll give you some insights. That's probably how I was able to make that shift and the connection. So I guess marketing was because I have comfort factor, but from there I saw that tying it up with my techniques that I knew made the transition a lot easier for me. Yeah.
So, sir, you talk about how it was difficult for you when you came at that point of time in India, where analytics was not that relevant as it is now. Now it has become even more relevant if we talk about it. And based on your professional experience in analytics especially, and now that you're a corporate trainer for students, what technical and business skills should B-school students focus on now for the coming next to 5-10 years to stay relevant? And what do you think are the biggest skill gaps that you still identify in students going to B-school?
Okay. So, see, this is okay. First things first, I think when I probably want to do a little bit of a differentiation. So, by the way, I also do a few. I train people in corporates. I do three things. I consult. I train folks in organizations, and I also teach in business schools. When I say business schools, I teach in Southern India. I'm also my consulting is based in the US, so that's where I've spent a good amount of time there. I train people at Whitman School in Syracuse. That's again, I'm actually associated with them pretty much. McCombs in Austin, and then I also am connected to a B school in Marseille, in Aix-Marseille, south of France. I noticed that there are differences from a point in which people approach the way people are trying to learn MBAs, and maybe I can address a few gaps across multiple areas. I think by and large, I think here in India, what I notice is sometimes I realize that the students are getting more sucked into it from a point of learning it and trying to get marks, and I think their entire approach sometimes feels a little stunted to me. See, it's not about that, right? I think once you're in an MBA, it's not about just scoring points. It's not about, just, faring well in assessments. It's not about learning a tool, right? You can't get stuck on the fact that, hey, I'm learning just a tool. But they sort of, I think they need to sort of develop themselves from a point of learning a science, learning the techniques, thinking about, applying it anywhere. And, once you start to think about it in that sense, I think automatically, what's going to happen? It's going to give you confidence to face interviews, and it's going to open many more doors for you all, right? So again, don't think of it and feel, don't be scared of making mistakes, all right? I mean, you're here in this 2 years to make all the mistakes. You can legally make all the mistakes. You're allowed to sound stupid in class, right? You're allowed, you have every right to sound completely stupid and idiotic. It's part of the process, right? And I think that's probably something that the students will have to overcome, come out of the shell, and then they have to be open about it. I think that is probably one of the biggest gaps, or probably where I find from an attitude perspective, right? Technique wise, I think you guys all seem to you've been given enough exposure. But the moment you start thinking about not learning just a tool, but you start learning about how to apply it in science and how you are able, and well, let me also tell you something. If someone shows you, let's say, example A, you need to somehow make the connection with multiple other domains, multiple other sectors, multiple other industries. You need to be able to, find a relation pretty much to everything. Learn a technique in a course, apply them on other courses. Okay, and so if you start doing things like these, there is, it's all going to fall together. And at the end of it, if you think about it, well, first years, I understand, you're new, you're young, you're learning things, you're being exposed to just a few core courses, it's all foundations. But as you start to, and I think before you, in fact, even go to your internships, I think you all need to have a basic amount of skill sets about how to get to analyze data, how to, you need to, listen, if you guys don't understand coding, I'm sorry, there's no reason for you not to learn it. Pick it up, it's okay. Tools are going to come and go. Pick up a tool and learn it out. If you just go online, buy a simple course. Don't wait for someone to come and teach you the course, right? Just take that little initiative and say what's happening in that. And today, like I said, me working in analytics, me being a consultant, I can tell you that personally for me, the landscape is changing rapidly, right? What I was talking about a year back, I know today is completely very different. And I don't know if it's going to be the same next year. I'm very sure the skills are going to change. Skill sets are moving all the time, right? You have to keep adapting towards what's happening. So you need to keep up with it, right? And I think when you come to an institute like this, it's not that you crack the cat and you crack the code, right? That's only just a starting point. Your learning is going to go on forever. So you have to keep learning things all the time. Stay abreast with what's in terms of trends and tech and tools and techniques and what's relevant to the market, and align yourself with the job roles. This is what is my advice to all the students to bridge gaps.
Yes, thank you so much for this. Actually, I feel that is a very good advice, that upskilling and evolving continuously actually drives what we are, the system of adapting.
Absolutely.
And we actually build something or contribute something to the organizations that we're working in.
Absolutely. And in fact, let me tell you something. See, you're not doing this for the organization, you're doing it for yourself.
Exactly.
Like, I have been working for 22 years, and can I tell you something? Every morning, I spend a good 15-20 minutes learning something. And if I don't do that, I know I'm going to lose out. The good thing is, once you have got a certain amount of learning in these 2 years, you will learn a lot. You guys are like dry sponges, okay? You're going to learn a lot from a lot of people. You're going to learn a lot of techniques. Pick it up, right? But once you have that basis of your techniques, you know what's going to happen? The upscaling is going to become very, very easy for you. Like, if a brand new technology comes in the market today, right? Let me tell you something. Something comes up, and if I need to, let's say, upscale myself in there, I need not more than 10 or 15 minutes to understand that. The moment I'm able to, see what the difference is from what I'm doing, all your learning is cumulative. All the things you've learned in the past is something that's all going to get tied up. It's all, everything is interconnected. I'm able to connect all my learnings, and I'm also adapt the latest learning. So you need to start developing use cases in your head to say, hey, where can I start adapting it? I've learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and tomorrow I'm going to do the 11th thing. So you know what? Start to string the puzzles, string them all, right? All the 11 things has to come integrated as one offering to a client. That is something that will really, really help students out.
Thank you, sir. Now, our next question is, if a student has no technical background and they really want to build a portfolio, which is considered very relevant today.
Sure.
And to build this portfolio in a data and analytics visualization, how can B school students do that without any technical background? Uh,
Okay, so let me tell you something, right? Technical background, not having a technical background really is no longer an excuse on on whether you scale or upscale, right? And I just want to quote a little example. Just today when I was doing a course on sports analytics for some of the folks, some of these guys have not even opened Python for ever in their life, right? They're the second years. Guess what? It's like this, it almost felt like an ice bucket challenge. It was me throwing ice at them right in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, hey guys, listen, you don't have a choice. Okay, I'm going to give you everything, right? You guys are not here to learn tech stuff. You guys are learning to hear concepts, right? And you want to, let's say, make a transition into analytics. This is powerful. You signed up for it, right? Now let's see how we can figure it out. Now, the tech part is probably the easiest part that one can overcome, right? I'm saying, with LLMs, with public LLMs available today, it's so easy. You don't need even to think about learning any kind of tech. It's so user friendly. It's giving you exact user manuals to say, hey, listen, step one, step two, step three, step four. Come on, if you can't read simple instructions, there is that's the easiest thing one can talk about. And I'll tell you something. I'm not a tech guy. I told you guys about my background. I have zero tech background. The only thing I did ever tech wise was back in school. I did C++. I did some programming. That's all tech I really did, right? But I've been in the field of analytics for the last 12 and a half years. I'm working on data all the time. I'm working on different tools and technology. Tools is something that you learn just like that. I need a day, max a day or two, and you will be able to learn it.
Yeah.
And once I get a hang of it, I can pretty much wing it. And this is going to happen to you guys as well, right? So not knowing a tool, not having a tech background is really not a shortcoming.
Yeah.
It's not a shortcoming. There is access to multiple resources. Again, initiative. Are you taking the initiative? Are you doing this on your own? You know there's a need in the market. You want to build a portfolio. Yes, it's a great space to be in, right? There's tons of opportunities. People are going to hire you like hotcakes. So guess what? Don't let the tool be a hindrance. It's really a very small aspect. And let me tell you something. Analytics is basically like a Venn diagram, right? It is a Venn diagram. If you want to get into analytics, there are three aspects to this. Okay, one sphere is going to be domain expertise, which is something that is going to come with experience, or you need to be connected with people who have the experience. All right, one circle. The second circle, which is a union intersection, right, is going to be, let's say, actual technology. All right, that's again another part. Now, is this the main part? No, it's only one more part. Look at the intersection. The third part is going to be the actual techniques that you learn in terms of analytics. Now, think about the intersection of all three: domain, technology, and the technique, right? So, to learn the technique, you don't need to know the domain, all right? To know, to know the technique, you need to just go through various modules, learnings, and you have to understand how analytics works, right? Understand how the algorithm works and get a little feel of it. Domain is something that's going to come to you with expertise, or you talk to people and learn and read out. So the technology part is just a very little part. It's only a very, very little part. It's only 1/3 of it, which is going to come largely with the help of ChatGPT. Simple. Yes. Just go there, it's going to throw codes for you. So I don't understand what is the roadblock in building a portfolio. So you know what?
Just go for it.
Not a reason to not build it.
Yeah, I agree so with this. And the initiative should actually come from us. So now that we've spoken a lot about this technical skills and we've actually thrown a lot of inferences, we now would like to move on to soft skill. Like, how do you feel like communication or the skills like stakeholder management can systematically improve for students alongside their technical skills? What is your opinion on that?
See, that is something, it goes hand in glove, right? See, you've got to be a smart salesman. That's very, very important. I feel that's very, very important. You have to know how to sell yourself. And especially at the time of cracking interviews, right? I feel, and see, for you guys, think about it. I think that's probably is the biggest highlight as a student in this course. So I think that's where soft skills come in very handy. It's not about talking fancy, not about sounding fancy, not talking about sounding classy or cool language, or being fluent in a certain way. That's not, or trying to be that flamboyant. That's not what it's really all about. Some people may have it, some people may not have it, right? Some people are introversial, some people are extroversial. All that is fine. I think somewhere it all boils down from the inner confidence that you build with, right? I think it's about, hey, listen, don't really think how people are going to assess you. Stop worrying about that. I think this is probably where your soft skills will really become better. I think it's about, hey, you know what, practice a little bit. And I tell this to people. Some people, like I was talking to somebody even today, And she was telling me that, hey, sometimes I feel I was trembling in a meeting, and she couldn't crack a particular an interview. And I felt bad. And this is a student I felt she was really, really good, right? So I told her, hey, listen, okay, let's try this. And this role that she's looking for needs her to be a people's person. I said, okay, you know what? We have time. We have a week. We can do something for you. How about we do some little techniques that will make you happy? She's saying, I'm not able to organize my thoughts. I feel nervous. Okay, great. Now that you've identified your top 2-3 reasons, your areas of weakness, I said, why don't you do something? Why don't you start talking to yourself in the mirror? See how you look, all right? Don't change the way you look. So start to see the way you perceive yourself. You know whether you look good or not, right? And take pride in yourself. It's always good to dress smart, very, very well. Dress. It's super important. Dress smart, okay? Believe me, it boosts confidence.
Yes.
Please just go to the gym and work out. Trust me, it is a sense of confidence, all right? You don't have to have the perfect physique, but then trust me, it builds confidence, right? You feel nice about yourself, right? Go for a little run. Go for a little run before you go for an interview. See how that changes your perception, right? Dab a little perfume. Trust me, the nice fragrance gives you a little sense of high. It makes you feel good, and you feel confident about it. I know these are superficial things, but it matters, right? And when you go sit in for an interview, it really matters. Get yourself organized. Okay, now let's talk about how to get your head organized. All right. Take a book and a piece of paper, right? And a pen. Sorry. Let's say if somebody is going to ask you a question. Okay, they're going to ask you questions that you didn't expect. Jot down things in front of them. And if you're going to obviously ask, and if you're going to ask an interviewer saying, hey, may I please take a minute to organize my thoughts? They're not going to say no. All right. So make a list of points that you want to talk about, structure it, and within a matter of 30-40 seconds, you should be able to find a structure to what you're saying, and then talk through that. No one's going to stop you from that. You will look organized. All right. Your soft skills will obviously will complement the whole thing will get complemented, right? Even if you don't have great speaking skills, it'll reflect that in your head you're really organized.
Yes.
And that comes across as a positive trait in you, right? These are things I would recommend. What else? This is about some skills.
So, do you think exposure helps in this? Like, the more we are exposed to certain situations wherein we have to communicate with other people, that definitely helps.
Absolutely, right? And I always keep telling people, just take yourselves out of your comfort zones. If you're not comfortable talking to people, go talk to people, right? If you're scared of heights, go do bungee jumping. Exactly, I'm not joking.
Face your fears.
Face your fears. Trust me, it is the best thing to do, right? If you don't like bugs, get a bug in your hand. Just be all right. Trust me, it makes all the difference. And once you do that, you realize, hey, this is not too bad. It'll be all right. It makes a difference.
So we actually have come to the end of our podcast. We just have one more question with you. So how did your MBA in marketing from Monash University shape your thinking? And what do you wish you had done differently during your own B school days based on that experience? And what is one actionable piece of career advice that you will give to students now entering this world after B schools?
So may I please ask you in my yes.
So the first part of the question is that do you wish anything that you've done differently in your own B school days?
In my B school days, see, again, back in the day, I felt that I think I found out. I think let me try maybe putting it in this sense. I feel I could have been a bit more organized when I was in my B school days. In the sense, I felt I did not tap it to the fullest back in the day.
A lot of people will feel that way.
Yes, and I really feel that I could have tapped more out of it. I did not really do a good job staying connected with the alumni right after my B school. Okay, because I was so engrossed in what I was doing, and for me it was all about getting into work. And in fact, I started doing it a few years after. I felt I missed out on that. I felt that is something which I could have probably spent more time. Had I been a bit more consistent about it, maybe it would have been more value adding. Of course, now I go there, I sometimes feel like a stranger. I have to go introduce myself. I'm starting all from ground zero, right? I go there. So right now we have meetings in Mumbai, or sometimes they have meetings in Singapore. So I go there once in a while, or sometimes in Hong Kong. So and yes, I see a few common faces, friendly faces, because I know them. They were my batches, But if I go to a place, if I go back to Melbourne, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find all new faces. I'm going to be a complete stranger in the room, and I'm going to start from scratch again. Saying I need to. So that's something which I felt, and you know, I feel somewhere I've lost the connection with those people, and it's taking time for me to rebuild all those networks. So you know, keep your alumni nice and strong.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that for you, sir.
Sure.
And do you think this is one of the actionable advices that you can give to students of this scenario in going out of these schools? This is something that you will recommend to students now?
Absolutely, yes. Treasure it. I mean, that's very important. I think networks are important. See, face it or not, I think this is going to be a great starting point. I think maybe right now you all might not have landed in great jobs. And I'm sure at some point you guys are going to do well for yourselves. So I think it's a great way to get started. You all been with each other for a couple of years together. You've been in family, so I think it's a great way to, you know, watch out for each other's back. So, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. There's just one more question that I've been dying to ask. You completed your MBA from Melbourne University, and we are doing it from India. Do you think there is a bit of a difference in doing it from an international accredited institution or from India?
Okay, so this is something. Okay, this is interesting. So I think again, I did my MBA almost 17 years back.
Yeah.
Back in the day, things were different. I'm very sure. So for starters, well, you know what I think. From what I see in hindsight, I felt that I thought the options were limited in India, and I thought the curriculum wasn't as well structured as it was in the US or in Australia. I felt that the education was slightly more advanced at that point in time. But in the last 15 years, I see that the gap has significantly reduced. So I think I don't see any great disadvantage or advantage of being here versus there. I mean, if you want a fancy degree and if you want to live overseas, I mean, yeah, you can afford it. Well, you know what? Feel free to do that. But I think from a point of, you know, getting a quality education, I don't think you have been compromised anything at all. It's all up to you, right? It's up to you on how you make the best out of it, and you develop yourself, work on your projects and assignments, your internships, and take it forward.
Thank you so much, sir. That is actually very good advice, and we feel that we'll carry all the advice that you've given us today into our professional and academic lives as well.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being on this podcast with us, and we from the ISE would like to very much thank you for everything and showcase our complete gratitude to you.
Great.
I hope the listeners also find this podcast very entertaining and very full of guidance.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.